So today we're going to start with operators and expressions. Now, what are the operators and what are the expressions? Operators are something through which we can operate on things like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. All these are operators. And what are expressions? The expressions or the sum or equations that we generate using these operators are the expressions, like x plus y equals 12, y plus x equals 13, then calculate x and y. So these are the expressions. We are using the operators to create expressions. Now let us move. Now operators are of three types: arithmetic operator, comparison operator, and logical operator. Now, arithmetic operator are the operators actually, which helps us to calculate the things. Okay. Comparison operators are the operators which helps us to compare between two data, like this data A is smaller than data B, or data A is equal to data B. Data A may be equal to, may be smaller, may be greater. So these all kind of things are done by comparison operator. Now coming to the logical operator, all the things that require logics are the logical operator, like if this and that, this or that, no, not this. So these all things, what it comes to mind is a logic. For example, if you give me, if you provide me the books, then only I can study. They're all related, so it makes a sense, it makes a logic. Like if I win the stage or win the competition, then only I can do this or something. So these all logical things are created or written in the codes with logical operators. So there are three operators. For doing calculations, we use arithmetic. For comparing things, we use comparison. For making a logic or building a logic, we use logical operators. Now coming to the arithmetic operators, we have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulo, exponentiation, and floor division. So I believe you must know the top four operators, arithmetic operators, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. You can get through the signs. These are the signs that are being used in Python or in any other language, not in Python. Now, what is modulo? Modulo is actually used to calculate the remainder. Okay, we only calculate the remainder. Like I will starting with modulo only. So let me create file. So over here we'll start with operators and expressions. Now first we'll go for modulo. Now modulo is something like if you want to calculate, like if you have a variable x and if you want to have 10 modulo sign, there is a percentage sign over here, we call it a modulo sign. So 10 mod 2. Now you tell me 10 mod 2, that means if we divide 10 by 2, let me write it down. If you divide 10 by 2, I hope there is a drawing tool over there so that I can explain it properly. Yeah, if I divide 10 by 2, then I will get 5. That means actually I am getting a remainder equals to 0. So if the remainder is equals to 0, that means x should have the value equals to 0. Okay, so I will just clear the screen. Now, so we will just print x and get the data that if we are actually correct. Okay, we have print x, and now let us execute it. Python / webinar. System is a little slow. So you can see we are getting 0. Now we will change it. Like I will just comment this and I will just put on over here like x equals to 10 mod 3. Now what shall be this answer? So let me tell you, when we divide 10 mod or 10 by 3, when we divide 10 by 3, we get 3, sorry, when we divide 10 by 3, we get 3 point something. That means it's not completely divisible by 3. Okay, so what is actually it is 3 and the remainder, like 3 3s are 9 and the remainder is 1. Remainder equals to 1. So the remainder is 1 and it is giving us 3 over here. So this is what actually is. So now if we print x, so we must get 1 as the value. So I will just erase the things and I will just execute the code. So I'm getting 1 as the remainder. So this is how we are getting it. Now, where to use this model? Like to calculate even and odd, like when a number is divisible, completely divisible by 2, that means the remainder is 0. So that number is considered as even number. When a number when divided by 2 is means not equal to 0, the remainder is not equal to 0, then you can say that the number is odd. Okay. So now moving forward with the exponentiation, this you know, I have already explained to you what is exponentiation, double asterisk, what it does. Now, floor division. Now, what is this floor division all about? I'll just tell you. Floor division. Now, if I have a value x equals to 10 divided by 3, let it be 10 divided by 3. So I will just print x. But if I have a value like x equals to 10 floor division by 3. Now there is a normal division over here and I have used floor division over here. And now I will print x. Okay, so when I execute it now, you will find that on the first case when I was dividing it, it's giving me a data right over here. Okay, but on the second case when we are dividing with a floor division, it's converting it to an integer type. Okay, now how to get the type? Like I will write type of x, and same thing I'm going to do over here, type of x. So you will find that we are converting the type actually. See over here the type was float, but over here the type has converted to the end. This is the shortcut method of type conversion from to divide any value and store the integer value out of it. Okay, or else you can do one more method, that is converting this x to the type int type, or you can do directly the conversion like int 10 by 3. So this will also give you 3. So I will just execute this. So it will also give you 3. So these are the methods, different methods. Everything it can be done in many methods. This is one of the methods which you can directly convert. Directly is a flow division method, or else you can directly typecast the value. So these are the two methods. Now, moving forward with the comparison operator. Okay, there's some examples over there. See, this is unary addition. Okay. Now, what is unary addition? This is nothing. If there is a negative sign over here, -4, it will convert it to +4 if you are giving +a. If it is a -4, then it will remain -4 as plus into minus is minus. Similarly, if there is a -4 or -3 over here and you're giving -b, then minus into minus becomes plus, so it will become +3. So this is the matter of unary addition and unary subtraction. Now giving addition, binary addition and subtraction. A plus b and a minus b. A into b is equals to 12. A by b. A modulus b, and this is the exponential 4 to the power 3 is 64. Same way I told you with the division. See, 10 by 4 is 2.5. 10 floor division by 4 is 2. Now 10 floor division by -4 is 3. Now how it is doing this? It takes the shortest value, okay, the minimum value it is. So when I divide, okay, let me do it over here only. When I divide 10 by 4 or -4, you can say, I get a value -2.5. I get -2.5. Okay. So when -2.5, so the smallest value of -2.5 is either it could give -2 or it could give -3. Either it could give -2 or it could give -3. So which is smallest? -3 is smaller than, or -2 is smaller? Obviously, -3 is smaller. So that's why it's giving the value -3 over here. So on the either side, either it be minus over here or minus over here, both the things are same and it will give you value -3. Okay, but when the both values are minus, minus gets cancelled, and you will get a value 10 by 4, that is 2, because 2 is smaller than 3. Are you getting my point? Just let me know in the comment section. Okay, I hope you got my point. Now we'll move forward. Comparison operator. Now, when it comes to comparison operator, this is actually, I told you that if this is exactly equal to this, we use double equals to check exactly equal to. Not equal to over here is not equal to. It is all the same as we use for C, C++, Java. For less than, we use a less than b. For less than equals to, this is less than equals to sign. Greater than and greater than equals to. So these are the signs over here. I hope you know all of these signs. So less than equals to, that means if it is less than, if a value of a is less than or equal to b, then it gives you true, or else it gives you false. Similarly, for greater than equals to, if a's value is greater than value of b or equals to value of b, then it is true, or else it is false. Now double equals to, that means exactly equal to b. A should be exactly equal to b. Then only it is true, or else it is false. So these are the cases over here in comparison operator. You can see some of the examples given over here. You can go to the examples right over here. Now, logical operators. So what are logical operators? I told you, and, or, not. So these are the three logical operators. Now what is not? If it is true, then it will make it false. A is true, so not of A is false. Are you getting my point? Now, or means any of the condition is true, and if any of the conditions are true, then it gives you true, or else it will give you false. And the AND case, if both the conditions are true, then only it will give you true, or else it will give you false. Okay, so these are the three conditions of the logical operator. So these are the three operators: comparison, arithmetics, and logical. I hope you understood all the three. Just let me know in the comment section if you're clear with the operators, because it is not a very big task. Now we come to the control structure, and it is actually almost similar to C, C++, and all other languages, but it has a difference in the syntax and the procedure of use. Now you will find sometimes that it is difficult, but actually it is making the looping and conditioning very easy. There is not very much difference in if else in other languages and Python, but there is a far difference in loops like for loop. There is a major difference in for loops and other languages, because it makes for loop in a different manner and in an easier manner. Okay, so now there are three control structures that is very important. And after learning this, you can do any code in Python. Now after this, your basics of Python are ready, and now we will implement it using functions, using class and objects, using different projects. So this is what you're going to do after finishing control structure. So now the control structure consists of if else, for loop. For is a loop type, and while is also a loop type. Okay. Now if else, how to write it? The if else, there is a syntax over here. If the test expression that is written right over here, text expression, it is actually telling this whatever condition you want to write, you need to write right over here in the text expression part. And then you have statement. It's whatever things you want to have inside the if condition. That if this is true, then these all statements will occur. So this is what the statements you need to write. And you can see over here, we are starting if with this indentation, but we are starting the if statements with this indentation. You can see the indentation right over here. There's a gap over here, and this gap is known as indentation. Okay, this is actually creating a block for if. Okay, so let me read the lines. Here the program evaluates the test expression and will execute statements only if the test expression is true. If the test expression is false, the statement is not executed. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Now we'll just erase the drawings. Now over here, if the number is positive, we print an appropriate message. So this is a question that we need to solve. So let us do this. Let us start with the control structure. Okay. So the first control structure that we're going to study is if else, elif. So this is what you're going to go for the three stages. So the first case that we're going to do is if. Now, we're going to write something like this. Like we have a variable x equals to maybe 4. And now we'll check it out. That if x is greater than 4, if x is greater than 4, then see, this is a syntax. If you can write in braces, or you cannot, you may omit this. Both the things are correct. Either you can write it write in parentheses, or you can omit it. Okay, for long expressions we do recommend people for using parentheses so that there is a less confusion of the things. Now this is also correct, x greater than 4. So if this is correct, then we will just print a message like print positive. Okay, for positive we need to write greater than 0, and this is a block. You can see I have taken an indentation over here. See, this is indentation, and similarly I will check if x less than 0, then we'll just print on negative. So these are the two data that they're going. If x is, so we'll just check it out what actually the data that we're getting on over here. So when we check it out, we are getting positive because x value is greater than 0. Now, if we are getting to minus 5a, now if we execute the code, so we're gonna get negative. You can see over here we are getting negative. So what is happening over here? Now, we are first of all it is checking with this statement if x value is greater than 0. So this is not greater than 0. So again it will check with this statement if x value is less than 0. So it is less than 0, yes. So when it is true, it is just printing the negative part over here. Now if I'm making it positive, so how it is being executed you can see over here. When x is greater than 0, yes it is greater than 0, so it will print positive. But again it will check that if x is less than 0, so it is not less than 0, so it will skip and move forward. So now what is the error with only using an if statement? Okay, what is the error with? The error is we are wasting few microseconds of time over here. Now this will be not very difficult when you having only 2 or 3 or 10, 15 if statements. But imagine with hundreds of if statements, what will happen? You will lose almost few milliseconds of your time. It will give your response later. It will take time to get response. So this is what happens. Now to eliminate or remove this error, what we have included into Python, that we have a network called if else. Now what it does, now I will just copy this code, same code, and I will just implement this. And now except if, I will write else over here. But else don't require any condition. Remember, else don't require any condition. So we'll just go for x greater than 0. So if it is greater than 0, it will print positive. And if this condition gets true right over here, if this condition gets true, then it will not execute any of the following conditions connected with this. Because if else cannot be written individually, if I omit this, it will throw an error. Okay, so else cannot be written individually. It always written after if, which is connected with an if. Now you cannot write two else in an if statement. If this condition is true, then only it is done. Now, what happens if there are multiple conditions? You cannot write like if, again, then if. So you cannot write like this. Okay, this is again, it is correct. It is not that it will not give you the exact data. It will give you somewhat the data. But what will happen? Unnecessary codes will be executed, which is not at all required, and you will not get your required data sometimes. Expected data will not occur sometimes. So this is what happens with this thing. So for eliminating this issue, then again we have taken in Python, we have something called elif, else if what we call in other languages. Okay. Now, else if what we call in other languages, we call over here in Python elif, E-L-I-F. Okay. So we will just write over here elif and give on the condition. Elif requires a condition. Okay. X less than 0. So it gives you negative. Now, if it is not greater than 0, if it is not less than 0, then what it will be? It will be exactly equal to 0. So I will just write on else and print that it is 0 in double quotes or single quotes, whatever you choose. So what I've done, if this condition is true, it will print this and not execute any of these lines. If this is false, it will execute this condition next to it. Now, if this is true, then it will just print negative and it will not execute any of the other lines. Okay, after it. Now, if this is also false, then at last it will just execute else directly and will print 0. Okay, just let us execute this code once. So we are getting positive. Now I will just change it to 0. So what happens, you will see, we are getting 0. Okay, we are getting 0 right over here. So this is the fact of if, else, and elif. So you can see over here we have some examples right over here. Check the positive and negative numbers. Else, if else statement, there is a thing that for checking if else statement. Now, if elif else statement. Now it is not compulsory. Now let me tell you one more thing. It is not at all compulsory to provide an else statement right over here. You can also use this particular thing. You can also use with elif. Like I want to use only elif. I don't want to use any else statement. So I can give this, and this is also correct, and I will get the same set of data that I was getting. See. Okay, this can also be done. It is not mandatory to use else always. So it's upon you if you want to use it or you don't want to use it. It's totally upon you. Now loop. Now loop has several things. Like this is the loop that is giving you a data counting from 0 to 4. Okay. So now let me tell you somewhat of the loops. So I will just comment this. So this is for loop over here. And now we'll execute the for loop. So the syntax is over here. For the variable that you want to choose, I. Okay. Now for there are several functions. Okay. So whatever you need to choose, you need to use in. This is syntax. For I in. Now after in, the values from where you need to get one by one data. So there is a range function. There is a range function. Now what does range function does? It gives us numbers. I repeat, it gives us numbers. Now when I pass only one number, any number over here, 5, that means it will start from 0 and end till 5 minus 1, that is 4. I repeat, when I execute with only one number inside the range function, it denotes that it will start from 0 and end till 5 minus 1, that is 4. So and one by one the data from 0 will come over here and stored in I, and we can use it. Then 1 will come and stored in I, and we can use it. Now we will use a colon to start the for block. Okay. Then an indentation will be taken over here, and I will just print I. So when I'm printing I, so I will get values ranging from 0 to 4. So when I execute this, you can see I'm getting a value ranging from 0 to 4. Okay. Now This is the first method. Now the second method is when we pass two now this function Some